Sean Hannity Show, thanks for checking in. Glad you are with us. Things heating up in the 2008 race for the presidency as we check in on our newsmaker line. Joining us now, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, how are you?
Hi, Sean. How are you?
Well, you're under fire. What a shock. Didn't we talk a lot about this?
It sounds like I hit at least a triple. I was trying for a home run, but I think I got at least a triple, meaning I've got the three leading Democratic candidates attacking me. I wish I'd get one more for a home run.
Well, the day's not over yet, so we may have it before the end of the day.
Maybe it'll be a home run. I mean, so they're attacking me for the comments I made last night, which are comments I've been making for about 5 years. Only thing I can do is reiterate my comments, and if the shoe fits, wear it.
Well, let's go over it, and then I want you to respond to it. If any Republican is elected president, and I think obviously I'd be the best at this, we will remain on offense. We will anticipate what the terrorists will do. We'll try to stop them before they do it. I listen a little to the Democrats. If one of them gets elected, we're going to be on defense. We'll wave the white flag on Iraq. We'll cut back on the Patriot Act, electronic surveillance, interrogation. We'll be back to a pre-September 11th attitude of defense.
That's the politics of truth and reality. That is, in fact, what all the Democrats support, including the three that are now attacking me. And it sounds to me like they're projecting a little, and maybe they're a little defensive. I mean, the reality is they are supporting something that is unheard of in a time of war and is highly irresponsible. And that is not only retreat, but printing a schedule of your retreat and handing it to your enemy, so they can figure out exactly when you are going to have depleted forces so they can take tactical advantage of you. So I think maybe being defensive about that, they're looking for a way to try to turn this around. But, I mean, everything I said is absolutely true, and I stand by it. I mean, the reality is we cannot go back to the pre-September 11 mentality of being on defense, not anticipating what they're going to do, but waiting for them to do it, like we did with the coal. You know, when they attacked us on the coal, we did nothing about it. When they attacked us on before September 11 at the World Trade Center back in '93, we treated it as a crime, not an act of war. Bin Laden declared war on us. We didn't react to it. It seems like they want to take us back to those days of being on defense. And every single thing I said is absolutely true. They want to retreat in Iraq. They want to give the enemy a schedule of the retreat in Iraq. They want to cut back on the Patriot Act. They want to cut back on electronic surveillance. They want to cut back on interrogation techniques. I probably have forgotten some of the things they suggested cutting back on. Well, that is going back on defense. And in my view, the best defense is a good offense. And the point that I was making was that we are going to win this war. I think I said it. America will ultimately defeat the terrorists no matter who gains the White House in 2008 because our ideas are correct. We ultimately won the Cold War. The question is, how long will it take and how many casualties will we have? And my fervent belief is the more we remain on offense, the quicker we can get to a result with the least number of casualties, and the more we go back on defense, the bigger problems we're going to have. If you lived in the 20th century, it's the lesson that you learned from Nazism and communism. You face up to a bully and a terrorist and a dictator sooner, you save lives. You delay, you equivocate, you become ambiguous, you do the kind of things the Democrats are doing. You know, a year ago they were in favor of more troops. Then they were definitely not going to have a specific timetable. Then they were going to have a timetable, and now they've made it so specific it becomes a tactical advantage for the enemy.
It's interesting.
Excuse me if they've shifted their position, and my position that I have right now was once theirs, and now they've changed it.
You know, it's clear you struck a chord, though, based on,
I did.
You know, Barack Obama came out, he said, quote, Rudy Giuliani today has taken the politics of fear to a new low, and I believe the Americans are ready to reject those kind of politics.
I would say that Rudy Giuliani yesterday practiced the politics of reality, and that if you don't see the terrorist threat, and you don't understand that you can't take the country back on defense, you're practicing the politics of unreality. And in a time of war, there isn't much room for unreality.
You know, one of the things President Reagan pointed out when he was running against Jimmy Carter, he reminded everybody at almost every stop that there were two very distinct visions here. There is a proposal to wave the white flag in Iraq.
This is a distinction clearly, and I'm willing to fight this one out as a candidate, as a supporter, in any way you want. There is a clear distinction between Republicans, and almost all of us who are Republican candidates, who are willing to remain on offense, and the Democrats who want to go back on defense much more than I actually ever thought they would a year ago.
Yeah.
And in each one of the areas that I mentioned, it's not just Iraq. And the problem they have, quite honestly, is they're looking at Iraq in a vacuum. They don't see the overall terrorist war against us. They keep calling it the war on terror. It isn't. It's the terrorist war against us.
Well, actually, they want to get rid of the term the global war on terror now.
I guess they want to do that, too. But that would be another indication of their wanting to go back on defense. And that's where we were in the 90s. And if you learn from history, whether it's Nazism or communism or a failure to pick up what terrorists were doing in the 90s, then I think you just consign us to repeating the mistakes of the past.
Let me ask you specifically about Harry Reid's comments. Let me play him for you in short here, saying that the war is lost.
I believe, myself, that the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, and you have to make your own decision as to what the President knows, that this war is lost and that the surge is not accomplishing anything as indicated by the extreme violence in Iraq yesterday.
Well, that's the politics of defeat. I mean, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy when you start talking about whether you're going to be defeated. Well, then you've just told all those 160,000 troops there that this is a matter of defeat. And I guess the extraordinary part of this, and I really have not heard a good answer to this, is what is the rationale for giving the enemy a timetable of our retreat? What possible good can come from that other than more danger for our troops, more danger for the people of Iraq, tactical advantage for the terrorists who are trying to kill us in Iraq, some of the same terrorists who would be planning to come here and kill us? Here's the thing the Democrats do not get, and all these attacks and the things Harry Reid is doing and the presidential candidates indicate. They do not seem to get the fact that there are people, terrorists in this world, really dangerous people, that want to come here and kill us. That, in fact, they did come in here and kill us twice, and they got away with it because we were on defense, because we weren't alert enough to the dangers and the risks. And they want to take us back to not being as alert, which to me will just extend this war much, much longer. I take that lesson from, the whole history of the 20th century.
Let me ask you, I thought Senator Graham had some really good comments about this. He made a statement on Reid's comments. He said, well, because I was thinking, I've been talking at length for the last week, Mr. Mayor, about the impact of those comments and what it has in terms of the morale of our troops, how our enemies perceive this. And Graham raised these questions. Well, if the war in Iraq was lost, then who won, Senator Reid? Was it al-Qaeda? Was it Iran?
Sure.
Was it the Sunni extremists? Do you believe that allowing these groups to emerge victorious is in America's long-term national security interest? And it's a lot of what you're saying.
It is very much the same thing that I'm saying, except put in a little bit of a different form, which is, are they thinking out what they're saying? I don't think they thought out the implications of giving the enemy a timetable for the retreat. I don't think Harry Reid thought out the implications of announcing that we were defeated, because the natural question is, if we were defeated, well, then who won? Well, I'll tell you who won. The terrorists who want to drive us out of Iraq. That's who won, if Harry Reid is correct. And having won there, does he think they're going to stop there? I mean, they've been planning for a couple of decades to come here and kill us. They got away with it twice. They're still planning to do that, not just come here, but attack us in other parts of the world. Their objective is to drive us out of Iraq. That should kind of give us a clue as to what a pretty good objective for us should be.
I make the argument, Mr. Mayor, that they're invested in defeat, and if we are victorious, that politically that hurts them. Harry Reid was even bragging that, we're going to pick up a lot of seats as a result of this war.
I'm not willing to take it that far. I'm willing to say, give them the following. I believe they're as patriotic as we are. I believe they care about and love the troops as much as we do.
I'm not questioning their patriotism, just their judgment.
But I think the problem that they have is they are in an unrealistic world. I think they want to romanticize the world, and that's very, 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 very dangerous. I mean, I think they're focusing so much on Iraq that they don't think of the answer to Lindsey Graham's question. Well, if we lose, who wins? Because they're not thinking of the overall terrorist war on us. All of a sudden, Iraq is just a little vacuum. Well, it isn't. There are terrorists around this world, loosely aligned in the movement that would be called extremist Islamic fundamentalism, however you want to describe it, that want to come here and kill us, that are planning to do it, that are planning to kill us overseas.